the city, running wild and looking pretty. Hot child in the city. How's that for a start of the show? I didn't have any intention of doing that. And as the opening song was playing, I thought, well, if I'm going to complain about anything off the top of the show, it's going to be this extreme heat wave that the city of Montreal is suffering. And then as I heard my cue that I was about to emerge onto the Twitch airwaves, the sweet lyrics and sounds of Nick Gilder came from my heart and my spirit and my soul. It is Friday, the 13th, 2021, in the month of August. I am James, you are you, we are here. Welcome to the weekend. You are at home with me, live from my living room, coming to you by way of the information superhighway, also known as the internet, live and in living color from St. Henry in the beautiful southwest borough of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Now I take a breath. I hope that you are staying cool, whichever method you're using, whether it's an air conditioner, a fan, oscillating, or otherwise. Perhaps you're taking a nice, cool bath. Maybe you've had a couple showers. Maybe you're bringing back the ice bucket challenge. In any event, I hope that you're comfortable, calm, cool, and collected as you celebrate Friday the 13th with us live on the air. Now, for anyone who follows us on Instagram, at Home with James Show, you may have noticed our promotional material said Friday the 13th, part 2. That's correct. For one of the rare occasions, we are bringing back a theme that we enjoyed last year. That's right. Now, was it a remarkable episode? I don't recall. I have no real recollection of what we did on that show, but I do know that it's worth exploring it for a second time. And dare I say, it's worth seeing if we can top whatever we did in 2020 tonight in 2021. And that shouldn't be hard because, as I mentioned, it was so unremarkable that I have no recollection of what happened a year ago on Friday the 13th. What? Hold on. Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Devin. We've got some breaking news courtesy of our production assistant, Devin. We're about to see the breaking news live on the air, and this may be something that we're going to periodically check in on throughout the night. Of course, it is important on a night such as this, Friday the 13th, to be as informed and as aware as possible for any potential spookiness, threats, danger. So you'll notice some breaking news popping up onto the screen any moment now. So, folks, again, breaking news, courtesy of Ice-T, rapper and star of Law & Order Special Victims Unit on Twitter. Quote, "It's Friday the 13th. Watch out for hockey-playing looking MFs." So that's breaking news. So we want you to be safe tonight, wherever you might be, coast to coast, all over the world. What's going to happen on tonight's show? Well, we've been having fun enjoying some panel discussions, and I thought once was great, twice was awesome. How about we go 3 times a charm? And why wait as we bring in tonight's Friday the 13th panel? Please welcome Dimitri, Kyres, and Mr. Marc Rowland to the show. Gentlemen, how's it going? Dimitri, let's start with you, coming to us live from Camp Crystal Lake.
I'm doing well. I'm super excited to be here. I love Friday the 13th. I think it's a real spooky day, and it doesn't get enough love, in fact.
All right, so we'll get back to that in a second. Marc, happy Friday the 13th. You're wearing a bit of a spooky shirt in your own right, a Ghostbusters shirt.
Yeah, I am.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Marc, before we hit the airwaves, you were eating your dinner out of a pot, and you opted to not use a plate. You want to tell us about that? Yeah, there's the pot. You want to tell people what you were eating?
Yeah, it was spaghetti with pesto sauce, green pesto.
Out of a pot. Okay, Dimitri, let's go back to you. Why doesn't Friday the 13th get enough love?
Well, I just feel like it kind of lost its touch. Like I feel like in back when I was in elementary school, it was a bigger deal, and people were like, "Oh, this is like almost like a sample platter of Halloween," but we get it,
Sure.
periodically throughout the year. So it's like one day where we get to be Halloween-ish. without it actually being the Halloween month. Do you guys celebrate Halloween month or Halloween weekend?
Well, I would say that Halloween is celebrated over the course of, I suppose, a month. I would maybe say 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Mark, what do you think as we veer towards a Halloween discussion?
Do I think that Halloween should be celebrated over a month?
Yeah, a month or a shorter period of time.
I think 2 weekends.
2 weekends. Okay, so Mark, we
Yeah.
might have a consensus between you and I. Now, I want to know, Mark, what's your relationship to Friday the 13th? Do you have any feelings? Dimitri says it's a little underrated.
It's underrated. I think it's overrated.
It's overrated. Can you tell us why? Now, that is our first hot thought of the night.
It's a hot thought for sure. I think it doesn't. It isn't a thing. Friday the 13th. I don't even know what it or where it originated from. What it was like. Why was it supposed to be an unlucky day?
Yeah.
I don't think anything bad has actually ever happened. I mean, bad things happen every day. Good things happen every day.
Right. So you're saying just like bad things could happen on Friday the 13th, they could also happen on Saturday the 9th.
Yeah.
All right.
And they
so
will.
Now, Dimitri, how do you respond to that as someone who has been on record thus far saying Friday the 13th underrated?
How do I respond to what Mark said?
Yeah.
Oh, he's wrong.
Okay.
Oh, can I respond to that?
Mark, how do you respond to that?
I think Dimitri's wrong.
Dimitri, how do you respond to that?
Show me. Prove it.
Mark, how do you respond?
Well, prove that you are right.
Dimitri, how do you answer that challenge?
You first, gentlemen.
I think that's what we're going to do tonight.
Okay, we're going to do it tonight. So I just got some information sent to me from our production assistant, Devin. It says, according to folklore historian Donald Dosey, the unlucky nature of the number 13 originated with a Norse myth. This is already too nerdy for me. About 12 gods having a dinner party in Valhalla.
Oh.
The trickster god Loki, who was not invited, arrived as the 13th guest and arranged for Hur to shoot Baldar with a mistletoe-tipped arrow, and that might be the nerdiest moment in the history of this show. Once again, folks, you're seeing a scroller across the top of the screen. That's courtesy of Ice-T's Twitter account. Ice-T, famous rapper, actor, Law & Order Special Victims Unit. Breaking news, it's Friday the 13th. Watch out for hockey playing MFs. Of course, MFs stands for mother effer. Now why don't we get into...
Can I interject, James? Can I interject? I mean, this is clearly not the nerdiest moment that's ever been on your show.
Oh?
Yeah, we did a whole segment called Nerd versus Noob.
I think the reason this to me takes the cake is I had to say all of that stuff out loud.
Yeah.
I think it's just that you had to say it versus me or Dimitri.
Okay, so we're conceding that perhaps it's my nerdiest moment on the show.
Yeah, it's your nerdiest moment.
Okay, well, we've got ourselves a bit of a challenge here because, Mark, you are of the position that Friday the 13th is nothing. Dimitri, you think it is underrated. So for the first time in a long time, I've prepared a variety of discussion topics that hopefully will put this long-standing debate to bed. So let's get into it. Friday the 13th, known for a variety of things. We're going to start with item number 1, bad luck. Now, Mark, your position is that bad luck is not isolated to Friday the 13th, but I want to ask before we get into it, have you ever gone on maybe a string of bad luck, things that you would classify as bad luck for you?
Me?
Sure, yeah, Mark.
No, I mean, I don't really believe in it. I don't believe in, it's all probability, right? So everything has a chance of happening. So have there been a string of unfortunate incidents?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call that bad luck or the fates conspiring against me. That's
okay. Well, how about I bring something up? So one thing that comes to mind is many years ago during the building of the Montreal Improv Theater, Montreal Improv, not to be confused with Montreal Improv. Mark, it sounds like you had kind of a wayward time in building that theater. A lot of bloopers, blunders, and boners. Now, one could argue that was bad luck.
Yes, I did. But at the end of an evening, after struggling to spray paint a ceiling, knock over an entire bucket of paint, slip in it, pop my shoulder, land in the paint.
So you're saying that I'm sorry, the visual just played in my mind.
Were you
You're
just
saying the paint
I flailed my arms and popped out.
Yeah, this sounds like something that were to have happened to Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci in Home Alone. So the paint that was meant for the ceiling, yeah, drink up, Mark, actually ended up on the floor, and then you slipped and fell in the paint. Now, if memory serves correct, did you not also dislocate your shoulder?
Yes. Well, I was so excited that suddenly the spray painter was working. I was like, oh, I started to slide it to get into position, therefore knocking it over, spilled on the ground. I slipped, but when I did, my arm flailed wildly. Right. I have a propensity for dislocating my shoulder. It kind of gave a nice little pop, and I also slipped in the paint.
Okay, so maybe what the cause of this was, you entered a little bit too hastily, right? A little too vigorous on your entry.
Yeah, but it was, you could foresee it all coming. I was tired. I was frustrated. I have a tendency to pop my shoulder. The machine was faulty. There were a lot of things adding up to that one moment.
It was a cocktail of, one would say, maybe bad luck.
I wouldn't say it's a cocktail of bad luck, maybe poor planning, but a confluence of events.
Okay, and just for the record, Mark, on a scale of 1 to 10 Jameses, 10 being the most Jameses, 1 being the least, how much help did you receive in taking care of these tasks in building the theater? 1 to 10.
It depended on the task, of course. Like that particular task.
The whole global task.
I'd say pretty high because I worked with these two very interesting individuals. So I don't know.
Right. So if you need any help building, folks, don't hesitate to hire 2 interesting individuals. Dimitri, let's go to you. Do you have a relationship with bad luck? Right? You ever have the condom break?
That's actually never happened to me.
Oh,
no,
right.
That's not true.
You don't wear them.
Yeah, but thankfully it didn't lead to any mishaps.
All right.
But no, I've definitely had a string of bad luck for sure. I believe in it. I definitely believe that bad luck is a real thing.
Before?
Say that again, Mark?
Did the condom break before you got started?
Did it break before I got started?
Yeah, you have to answer the question.
Did it get broken before it got started?
Like you put it on and they just went
and it popped right through?
Kind of like Bruce Banner when he's turning into the Incredible Hulk.
Well, even Bruce Banner's shorts stay on when he turns into the Incredible Hulk.
All right, well, let's leave it at that. Dimitri, you were talking about that you do believe in bad luck.
Yeah, I believe in it.
I'd like to get into it.
Yeah, I believe you can manifest this type of stuff. I believe in.
Why would you want to manifest bad luck, though?
No. You misunderstand me. I think people can manifest it and project it onto other people. It's called the evil eye.
The Malocchio.
The Malocchio?
Yeah.
The fuck is that?
It's the evil eye.
Is that the Irish version?
No, it's the Italian. Yeah. The famous Irish word Malocchio.
It kind of sounds like a little goblin or something. Anyway, it's a Greek thing. It's called the evil eye.
I take offense.
Well, take it up with my lawyer. So.
Oh, hold on. I'm getting a production note from Devin, our production assistant. In Italian culture, the most common superstition is the Malocchio, meaning an evil eye. Italians believe that if someone stares or glazes, inspired by jealousy or envying your good looks or your success, they can give you the Malocchio. People believe this is the way Italian curses, so on and so forth. Yeah.
What's at the end of that sentence?
I just got tired of reading it. It's a little long around the tooth, yeah.
Yeah, the Malocchio, sure. All right, we call it the evil eye. I believe that you could manifest that and put it on other people.
Right.
And have I had some first-hand experience with bad luck? Yeah. There was this one time when I was a kid.
1 second.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Apparently, I have to give credit to the source. That information comes from the following URL, theprouditalian.com. Dimitri, you can carry on.
I was a kid and I was playing some indoor baseball. We were trying out for the beginning of the season and seeing where we were going to place, which team we were going to get placed in. And this was at the end of the game. We were playing just a little like indoor match inside the big gymnasium, and I was up, and all the parents were kind of there, and so were my mom and dad were coming there to pick me up along with all the other parents, and they were just kind of waiting and watching us play for the last 15 minutes. And I went up to bat, and I decided to just go for it, and I hit it very, very hard, and it went all very far away, and I decided to just bolt, and I started rounding all the bases. But I was also wearing these button pants. So when I slid into home base,
what do you mean button pants?
Like the pants that they button, tearaway pants.
I understand. Yeah.
And when I slid into home base, they exploded off of my body, but stayed around my ankles.
So unlike Bruce Banner.
and they stayed around my ankles, and I was wearing tighty whities and a jock strap. So they just came on my body in front of all these parents and stuff, and I was very embarrassed.
Now, what was the reaction?
I heard an audible gasp from a mother who it's like.
Yeah, but
and how old are you now?
This is probably 12 or 13.
12 or 13. That gasp probably not only came from the fact that a child's pants, quote, exploded off of his body, but then they were thinking to themselves, that 13-year-old's got a big Johnson.
Well, it was behind a jock strap.
Yeah.
Still
now,
can't.
Dimitri, you think that there was some Greek grandmother in the crowd who was supporting the other team, who saw you like hit that home run and was like giving you the stink eye, the evil eye? Is that what you're thinking? There's some spell cast on you?
Well, Mark, just to avoid any offended viewers, the evil eye is actually an Italian origin. So let's not conflate the Italians and the Greeks, Mark, please.
Wait, you're really saying that the Greeks don't have it? Dimitri, weren't you saying that the Greeks have it too?
The Greeks have it too. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I'm getting a production note. Okay, so according to our production assistant, Devin, the Greek evil eye is called the Mati. The Mati, otherwise known as the evil eye. This must be the most well-known of Greek superstitions. The curse of the evil eye is said to be caused by jealousy and excessive praise. The Greek evil eye charms and amulets in the shape of eyes are worn, carried in pockets, or hung on walls to ward off this bad fortune. So it sounds like the Mati and the Malocchio are very similar.
Yeah. It's almost like they borrowed from each other.
Yes.
Almost like Italy and Greece are not that far away from each other. But anyway, I have the evil eye above my door, so it
right.
So to answer your question, Mark, the cool thing about the evil eye is you don't need to be Italian or Greek to do it. Anybody could do it.
Oh, really?
Yes, anybody can manifest it and put it onto somebody else. So that's why I believe in it.
All right, so it sounds like we're not going to settle it here, but we've got a variety of items to get into. So, of course, when we think about the Friday the 13th, it's often associated with fears, right? There's a lot of fear associated with Friday the 13th. Mark, what are some of your fears from either as a child that have carried on, or maybe new fears?
I'd say a new one that sort of developed is heights and the depths. Those two kind of opposing things.
The two extremes, right?
Yeah. I think I've always had a difficulty with maybe like feeling dizzy. You know, I remember when I was 13 years old, I came to Montreal for the first time because I used to live 13. Coincidence? I came to Montreal for the first time from Quebec City.
Yep.
We went to La Ronde. I did like the rotor, you know, that thing where you stick on the wall.
Yep.
Felt sick for the rest of the day. And I think this is somehow related to it, where if I get vertigo. So if I'm on a height, you know, some high point and I look down, I get that sensation of spinning. And it can also be the same thing in the, you know, if I were to imagine being in the ocean and looking down.
Mhm.
Although I'm more imagining some kind of leviathan emerging from the depths, like
Okay. Well, it sounds like that this fear and this condition you mentioned started at the age of 13.
it was certainly when I noticed it, but yeah, that was the first time I noticed it.
Okay, interesting. Dimitri, what about you? Let's transition to fears that you either had, still have, or have developed. And why are they condoms?
Uh, I have two. So,
Okay.
So one is, not very original. It is also the depths. I was, but mine,
Well,
but I know where mine came from though.
yeah,
When I
thalassophobia.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, fear of the sea, thalassophobia.
Cool. Mine came from I didn't know how to swim when I was obviously younger. I learned how now, but when I was younger, my grandparents had a very deep in-ground pool, and the way they had tiled the bottom made it very dark in the deep end. And my grandfather just got really fed up. He's kind of a hard guy. He's from Greece, and
What was his name?
his name was George.
Okay.
Sorry, no. What am I saying? His name is Andreas. George is my
Okay,
dad's name.
well, that's quite a jump from
Yeah.
George.
My dad's name is George. Andreas. He got fed up that my parents hadn't taught me to swim yet, so he took me and he launched me into the deep end, where I learned how to swim miraculously. And my mom got very, very mad with him. But I did learn how to swim after that. And then the second time that it kind of reignited was when I was in Greece. They do these boat tours where you go to like reefs and you jump off. And I was once again thrown off because my mom was like, "You're going to swim," because I was too scared. She threw me off again, and you could see everything down there and all these weird things swimming around. And I got really freaked out that a shark was down there. So I'm also afraid of the depths as well. And then the other one
Okay.
is dying.
Yeah. Whoa.
All right, let's
What
move on to our next topic. Superstitions. Again, another item that is very closely associated to Friday the 13th. Mark, are you a superstitious guy? You get any superstitious feeling?
No, zero.
No. Okay, what do you think about people who have superstitions?
I think that humans are really good at seeing patterns. I think like that we've got this confirmation bias. So we think something works and we then look for indications that it does.
Got it.
Or we're, like, oh, this bad thing happened because,
Yeah.
evil eye got us, or I washed my thing. So
Now,
these
which
people
evil
lost.
eye? Just we don't want to offend anyone. Which evil eye are you referring to?
No, the Greek one.
Yeah, got it.
What's it called again?
I believe it was the Moti.
Moti, because you said Molokio so many times.
Yes.
I
No,
remember
excuse
that.
me. The Mati. The Mati.
Mati, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's just that the human mind is extremely creative, but I don't
Now,
believe
Mark, I'm getting another production note. The human mind is very creative. That's your second hot thought of the night. So right now, Mark, you're up 2 hot thoughts to Dimitri 0.
All right.
I didn't know we were. Okay. Yeah, all right.
Got it. Okay, but Mark, have you ever been superstitious?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
So you're a superstition
Superstitious.
denier.
Yeah, I think I've always been interested in superstition and magic and religion and all of that, but I can't say. Well, I used to. Well, okay,
All right.
Okay, so there's been a time where I felt like maybe there could have been spirits in the basement of my home when I was living in Saint Foy outside Quebec City,
Right.
but I was young.
Yeah,
I
you
was
were
young
youth.
and mad.
Now, can you tell us why you were led to believe this? Did you hear noises? Oh.
No, there were no noises. It was just like
Maybe some like.
Yeah, I think it was like doors creaking probably, and maybe a light that might flicker or turn off. But also, it was it was mostly my own creative mind imagining
Well, mine is a
that.
creative thing.
Well, because we had a really long hallway.
Now, Mark, can you do that? Draw that again.
So we had a really long hallway.
Looks like you're drawing a pentagram.
It was not a pentagram,
Okay.
but it was a long hallway that just felt way too long in the basement. So getting out from one room and going all the way up, and especially because we had to turn off the light at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, it felt like anything could be like creeping along after you.
Okay. All right. So your position is not superstitious. Dimitri, let's go to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, would you say you're a little superstitious or very superstitious?
I would say very superstitious.
Very. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, another opposing position from Mark. Tell us why.
Because again, I feel like I am manifesting it. I'm also, and I know you are too, James, a hockey enthusiast, and hockey players are very superstitious bunch. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen it while watching a hockey game where it's like, oh, this person won't score, and then that person scores. It's all around us. I think you do manifest that stuff. Radio broadcasters who are like, oh boy, well they need one more goal here, but they'll never do it, and then sure enough they do it. I'm a very much believer in knock on wood. You'll see me doing that a lot. That's a classic. Yes, Mark?
Dimitri, you said this person won't score, and then they score, and you're like, whoa, wow, I did it. Yeah. So if you'd said they will score, then you'd also be like, wow, I called it. Either way, if you say they don't score and they will score, you're going to be impressed either way.
Yeah, but
I just have to cut in here, Mark. Apparently, that's your third hot thought of the night.
It's both. You're both manifesting it. I think.
Now, this is where I'm gonna have to disagree because I feel like I could say this player's gonna. It's often related to a couple things related to what you mentioned, Dimitri, a goal or this goalie's gonna get a shutout tonight. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't ever seem to work with I hope so and so gets a penalty. I hope this guy gets suspended in this game. So why is it only based around one or two things at the most?
I can't explain the universe. I can't explain the cosmic beings that be. It's the reason I knock on wood. It's a very simple gesture, and it's a very humble attempt to try to sway the fates. I can't. If I understood the way it fucking worked, I'd be a rich man dunking in the NBA right now, 6'5", and making a ton of money driving race cars around Jupiter. You don't understand? Like, if I had a way to figure it out,
You're correct. I don't understand.
Yeah. So anyway, there's that. Ladders, don't walk under them. Don't put two mirrors in front of each other. It creates a portal.
Now you're joking.
A portal to what?
You can't put two mirrors in front each other. It's very, very bad luck. So portals are very, very evil.
Right. Hold on now, Dimitri. You're talking about bad luck now. This is the superstition discussion.
Yeah, they're one and the same.
I've just been informed you've been docked minus one hot thought.
It doesn't matter.
Minus 0.
It doesn't matter. Your points mean nothing to me. Knock on wood. So anyway, you can't put two mirrors in front of each other. It's very bad. What else is there?
Are you Googling things right now?
What else is there?
Yeah, what else can you do?
Oh, yeah.
Now, Mark, let's go to you. What's your position on all these things? Walking under ladders, and apparently you mustn't ever put two mirrors in front of each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's common sense not to walk under a ladder.
Right. Due to safety reasons, it sounds like for you.
Yeah, safety reasons. Just being a good citizen. You know, you might distract
that not walking under a ladder is a signature of being a good citizen.
Yeah. You're being conscientious because if that person's up there working, you're walking under there doing stuff, and they're going to be distracted. They might fall down.
Could be bad luck for them.
not bad luck. You might distract them. The bad luck is simply the die rolled in a negative for a negative outcome.
Now, Mark, just remember in the pre-show discussion, you were specifically told no board game references tonight.
Well, it's not necessarily board game. Could be math.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to our next topic. Another topic synonymous with Friday the 13th is, of course, the Friday the 13th film series.
Yes.
Now, Mark, do you have any fond memories of growing up watching this incredibly crappy film series?
No, well, not. I mean, growing up as a younger man, one of my old roommates, we watched Friday the 13th.
Now, when you say old roommates, do you mean a past roommate or a roommate that you had that was elderly?
Past.
Got it.
Past roommate. Yeah, we watched Friday the 13th 1 through 3 together.
Well, now this is interesting to me because the first Friday the 13th, I believe, was 1980 or 81. So it surprises me that you didn't watch any of these in your youth, because these films would have only been a few years old up to that point when you were 8 or 9 or 10, when kids usually start watching scary films.
I didn't watch scary movies.
Not allowed, huh?
I wasn't really interested.
Now, Mark, what's going on above you? Just look to the sky. Is there someone up there?
I looked inside to think about it, and then also a moth flew by.
All right, so
oh, it's bad luck.
Are you not allowed to watch scary movies?
No, I was allowed to. Although a film character I was afraid of as a child was Darth Vader. Very young child.
All right, unrelated to this discussion, but nevertheless. Now, so
yeah, well, I thought I'd add to it.
You only became acquainted with the Friday the 13th series later on in life with your old.
Yeah. Well, the most interesting one was probably the third, because it was done in 3D.
Correct. Yep.
And then this was maybe a real gimmick, and there was a lot of moments like, "Oh, hey, want a pencil?" And then they'd like, really put the pencil into the screen, or "I love yo-yo," and then the yo-yo come towards you. So it was, a pretty ridiculous use of 3D.
Okay, now Mark, here's a question. If let's say, right, you're dating a special friend right now, you got a special person in your life.
Yep.
Yeah. Now let's say she was saying to you, Mark, it's Friday the 13th. I want to watch all of the films. You think you'd do it?
She says that?
Yes.
I'm not particularly fond of that kind of phrasing, but and I'm still together with her.
Yeah, this is not a post-breakup offer.
Okay. I want to watch all the films, like horror movies.
No, just the Friday the 13th series from start.
I'm totally into it. Yeah,
You're
definitely.
Totally into it.
Yeah.
All right. So Dimitri, let's go to you. Do you have any relationship or history with the Friday the 13th franchise?
No, not really. I'm not a fan of the series. I don't think it's very good. I think the antagonist is not very good. I think he's lame.
So you think Jason Voorhees is lame? Can you tell us why?
He's a monster man who has mommy issues and only kills on one day of the week. As far as like as far as villains go, it's kind of weak, right? Like,
okay.
No, that sounds very interesting to me. One day of the week. That's a cool specific choice. Has mommy issues. That's interesting, because I find there's a lot of monsters just like, I like to kill, and that's a little boring. But he's got a little more, and he also like.
Mark, would you like to expand on which monsters just like to kill?
Which monsters just like?
That's a very controversial opinion, and I'm curious.
Okay.
Because I would say that most of these slashers have origins.
Yeah, I definitely think that there are a few that, but mostly in like the sort of more poorly written ones that would fall under that category. Did you ever see the movie? I mean, I don't remember it incredibly, but did you ever see Life?
No.
Who's the actor played Deadpool again?
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is in it, and he surprisingly dies early on in the film. And I feel like Life is just this movie where this thing goes
Okay.
out and kills
All right.
everyone.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm too familiar with current slasher films. I would say if I had to
Yeah.
pick one slasher murderer that just kills for the sake of killing, it'd probably be Leatherface. But he's mostly a henchman. He's a henchman for a greater villain.
Yeah, they do seem to just be out to discombobulate people.
Yeah, it's a very nice choice of words there. So Dimitri, you don't like Jason Voorhees, so you have no relationship. You're telling me you haven't seen Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan, where he ends up in New York City, punches a man's head off of his body?
No.
What are you looking at up there?
I was a moth.
Oh.
I swear to God,
You know what? That's pretty spooky.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy. You got one too. You haven't seen Jason X?
I've seen Jason X. That's the space one where
Yes.
this is cool. He's frozen and then he gets thawed out in the future, right? And he's got a chrome
Yep.
mask.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Was that one 3D too?
Yep. It was probably 3D.
Yeah. That was cool.
Okay, so Dimitri, if not Jason, then who?
There was one movie that really freaked me out as a child, and my brother and sister would put it on to fuck with me a lot. And it was Chucky.
Child's Play, yeah.
Child's Play, yeah.
Yeah.
And I hated it as a kid, and now I've come around and really like this because it's, for me, one of the most creative slasher creatures. But because he's not just a puppet, he's like an.
Well, he's also not a puppet.
He's not a puppet. He's an ex-con
No.
trapped in a puppet.
Boy.
He is a doll.
Oh, sorry, he's a
a
doll. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Like a puppet has
Never.
strings.
Yeah, you took a lot of power away from Chucky, referring to him as a puppet.
Okay, here's a question.
Oh, yeah,
Why is Chucky killing?
Well, he's always trying to figure out a way to get out of the doll body, right? That's the thing, that's the play. And he does this ritual to try to swap bodies with people. He wants to get out. He's constantly stuck in this toy body.
Is that in the first one or later ones? Because that sounds like a later thing. I feel like the first one's just him killing.
Probably the
Yeah,
one.
I saw the remake of it recently as well, and it's just a malprogrammed doll.
Oh, like a
Someone programs it to be evil.
Yeah. I saw an ad for one of the new Chucky movies where they had, so it looked like a poster with Chucky like this, woman at a bus stop late at night. And then it turns out that it's a guy in a Chucky suit and he smashes out of the billboard and then runs after her with like a fake knife.
Full-grown man or a little person?
A small person.
Small person.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is this like a JFL gag?
Well, yeah,
That's
but
too
like
good to be a JFL
Yeah,
gag.
that is too
but
good.
like a
Too
South
good.
American one, like a South American gag show that does like really nasty things.
And this
Well,
isn't like marketing for the movie. It's just for fun.
I think it maybe was marketing for the movie, but then they included it on the show.
Oh.
Well, it sounds like we're at a dead heat in this debate, so there's only really one way to solve this. Now, I thought this was going to happen because both of you make compelling arguments for Friday the 13th, whether it has any validity or not. We're going to have ourselves a Friday the 13th quiz. Each and every one of these questions is a multiple choice question with 3 possible responses, one of which being the correct response. In order to answer correctly, you'll either need to indicate 1, 2, or 3 to represent your choice in the multiple choice. Dimitri and Marc, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now, don't be nervous. I'll indicate to you when it's time to lock in your answer, and here we go. Question number 1. What is the maximum number of Friday the 13th that can occur during a calendar year? 1, 2, or 3? Please lock in your answers now.
With the maximum number of Friday the 13th that can
Right.
occur in a year. This is crazy. Okay.
The correct answer is 2. Mark, not only are you up 3 hot thoughts to Dimitri's -0, you now have 1 correct answer. Let's move on to question number 2.
Damn.
Which famous rapper was killed on Friday the 13th? The answers are Jam Master Jay, Notorious B.I.G., or Tupac Shakur. Jam Master Jay, Notorious B.I.G., or Tupac Shakur. Please lock in your answers now. You're both incorrect. The correct answer is Tupac Shakur. He was the 3rd possible response. Once again, Mark, you're leading 1-0. Let's move on to our next.
Are you sure that's okay? All right. So maybe he was in that, but because there was another rapper that was in a Jason movie.
Yeah, well, I think you might be thinking of Busta Rhymes.
Yes, exactly.
He was in Halloween H2O. This question was in response to a real life death.
Yeah, that's. Wait, what?
Now, I believe that Mark is under the impression that this is a quiz based around the film series and not the Friday the 13th phenomenon.
Go on.
That's too good.
Let's move on to the next question. It's pretty bad luck, Mark. Which president was especially superstitious of the, quote, holiday, avoiding 13 guests at meals and traveling on the 13th day of any month? The possible answers are, number 1, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, number 2, John F. Kennedy, and number 3, Lyndon Baines Johnson. 1, 2, or 3? Mark, that is the correct answer. FDR for another point. Dimitri, you're picking up the rear with 0 correct answers. Let's move on to the next question.
For somebody who's not very superstitious, you certainly know a lot, Mark.
I do. You have to study your enemy.
The next question is, which celebrity considers the number 13 to be their lucky number? The answers are 1, Roseanne Barr, 2, Taylor Swift, or 3, O.J. Simpson.
I think it's 2.
Oh, this is tough.
You are both correct. Taylor
Yeah.
Swift is the right answer, Mark. You now are up to 3 points with Dimitri's 1. Let's move on to the next question. Some Spanish-speaking countries have a fear of a different day of the week when it falls on the 13th. Which is it? The possible answers are Wednesday, Saturday, and Tuesday. Wednesday, Saturday, and Tuesday.
So what are the numbers? So Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday?
Saturday, and Tuesday. Mark, you are once again correct.
Are you kidding me?
Dimitri,
Are you guessing?
these are obviously guesses.
Well, I'll tell you
Now-
what I got, the evil eye probably. Mark put it on me.
Yeah, Dimitri, not only do you have the Malocchio, you also have the Mati. And maybe whatever the Irish one is. Let's move on to our next question. In Ontario, Canada, what group gathers every Friday the 13th for a rally dating back to 1981? The possible answers are circus folk, Wiccans, or motorcyclists. Circus folk, Wiccans, and motorcyclists.
In Ontario, Canada?
In Ontario, Canada, and this dates back to 1981.
It dates back to 1981.
1981.
No,
Circus folk,
Tricky.
yeah, it's tricky.
Wiccans, motorcyclists.
Because Wiccan, you went with Wiccans?
Yeah.
Going with my gut.
Yeah.
Dimitri, you're on the board with another correct answer. It is motorcyclist.
Yeah. I considered it, but I had to
Ontario, Canada should have been
Yeah.
the dead giveaway. Let's move on to our next question. Dimitri, you can still get in this. You need to run the board. Question number 7. Which heavy metal band released an album on Friday the 13th, 1970? Your options are Led Zeppelin, Alice Cooper, Black Sabbath. Led Zeppelin, Alice Cooper, Black Sabbath. Which heavy metal band released an album on Friday the 13th in 1970? You're both correct. The answer is Black Sabbath.
Okay.
Mark, you're leading by 2 points. This might be over. The next question, which member of the cast of Seinfeld was born on Friday the 13th?
Oh.
Your options are Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Jerry Seinfeld, and Michael Richards. Correct answer is Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Mark, you have won the Friday the 13th quiz for a grand total of 6 correct answers to Dimitri's 3. And if we loop in your 3 hot thoughts of the night, that brings you to 9 points. And Dimitri's, if we loop in his -0, that brings him to only 2 correct answers. Mark, Friday the 13th, nothing to be worried about. How do you feel?
I feel good. I feel vindicated. I feel like everyone's going to see my point of view. I really enjoyed the trivia. I always like trivia.
The trivia is very fun. Now, Dimitri, how does it feel, right? You've been totally destroyed.
I don't feel good about it because I feel like Mark has no insight on this topic and has just guessed his way to the championship. So
well, but obviously he guessed his way, but I think I have to take a bit of umbrage in you saying he has no knowledge on the topic. His guesses were more accurate than yours, indicating that you also have no knowledge on the topic.
Yeah,
So
but I care more.
Would you say you were unlucky, Dimitri?
Suspiciously so.
Suspiciously
unlucky. Like perhaps somebody put a mati on me before we started this whole thing. And you know what?
Yeah, you were cursed.
I didn't tell you how to take it off, Mark.
But I have to take umbrage with this because it sounds like a mati can only be put on by a Greek person.
Yes. And last time I checked, I am one.
Wait, so you put the mati on him? I thought you were implying that he put the mati on you.
Oh, he put the mati on me, and he did it on purpose. But
but again, I have to take umbrage with this.
Yeah.
According to lore, I believe you have to be Greek in order to put the mati on someone.
No, you don't have to be. You don't have to be Greek to put it on. He put it on accidentally. Okay, I misspoke. But I know, as a Greek person, how to put it on intentionally. So, Mark, watch yourself.
All right.
Well, that's going to bring us to a close on this second ever Friday the 13th edition of At Home. This absolutely blew the first one out of the water. Hopefully we can do this again. I'm not quite sure if there is another Friday the 13th throughout and with the remainder of 2021, but we might have to do this again, Mark and Dimitri.
Yes, that'd be great. If there's maximum of one more.
Yes, that's true. Unless we've already surpassed it, although I don't think we have, because if we had, this probably would have been the theme of the show. Folks, we're going to say goodbye to you on behalf of Dimitri, Kyres, and Marc Rowland. Happy remainder of Friday the 13th. Whether you believe or not, there is only a couple hours left. It's going to be much cooler tomorrow. And you know what that means? You're not going to be a hot child in the city. Anyways, I'm James. That's Dimitri. That's Mark. You are you. We were here. Good night, goodbye, farewell, and of course, be well.